we're making a lot of video production solutions, which are very, very broad compared to the sort of things that you may have expected from Ross in the past, because Ross has been growing considerably over the years, and I think is now known as one of the leaders in live production technology. One of the things that we're showing here at NAB 2013 is a very interesting virtual set. And with the virtual set, it's starting with a hard set, with a sort of a physical wall, and then there's a virtual set that wraps around the side of it. And then in front of the live talent, we actually have augmented reality elements that are being driven and triggered during the production. And then we have our Furio robotic camera system that is creating incredibly smooth moves through the set and giving some absolutely incredible shots of the augmented, virtual, as well as hard set look all at once. And that's all being pulled together and composited using our vision production switchers, using our ultra-chrome chroma key technology. And then it's being controlled using our Ross overdrive production control system and being run by one person. Augmented reality and virtual sets are sort of things that a lot of broadcasters have been afraid of in the past because of the number of vendors that have to come together and sometimes the finger pointing that can happen during that sort of a production and creation. And Ross is now pretty much the only vendor in the world that's able to take all of the elements of that production and make it really easy. And that kind of ties in with one of the philosophies we have at Ross is we really want to be able to enable better productions, make productions that are more engaging and interesting, like moving camera shots inside the virtual set, or in front of hard sets for that matter, using our pedestal-based and rail-based robotic cameras. We want to be able to make the productions more engaging, and with our overdrive automation systems and so forth, we're able to make things move faster than they did before, be able to get more elements into news, more elements in sports productions and things like that, while being error-free and less expensive to produce. One of the things that we've been able to do beyond virtual sets as well and into other aspects of live production is the release of something we call Dashboard 6.0, for lack of a better term, I suppose. We probably need a better marketing term for that. And it's a control system that has evolved to include a feature called Panel Builder. And what Panel Builder does is it takes elements out of our user interface, of whether it's out of our graphics, our production switchers, our video servers, our robotic cameras and so forth, and lets the users themselves, the customers, create their own user interfaces. And that makes it's so much easier to create the production, because normally the user interfaces are some sort of a mix match of being able to either build the production and set up the equipment as well as run the equipment with all the possible options you'd ever want to do, with a button for anything you'd ever want to do. With Panel Builder, you take away all of the equipment and focus on what you're actually trying to accomplish in your production. Are you doing tennis? Then focus on what tennis is. Are you doing soccer? Then focus on what soccer or football happens to be. And this is actually a revolution. It's never been done before, and it has to be seen to believe. So when you think about Ross and all the sorts of innovations that we're doing, I think the real thing is we're making it easy to make better and more engaging productions as a kind of a total solutions provider now. Being in live production, things like cloud services and IT-based infrastructure and things like that really touch at the periphery of what live production is. You still need to be able to line up the pixels and mix the video. So in the live production world, cloud is just something that feeds into the sort of productions that we do, whether it's coming in from cloud or IP-based production technology or coming out. In the end, we're kind of like the last bastion of baseband video, although we're working with NVIDIA graphics cards and things like that, and we're doing real-time decompression of signals. Related to things like 4K, which is another thing we're talking about, it's very early days. 2 days ago, for example, if you're talking to people, they'd say, okay, well, 4K is a quad link signal because, you know, it really can't be, there's no method to run it over coax. So they say, you know, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 sort of quadrants. And people are, okay, now I understand how we're going to do that. And then the next day you hear, well, it's kind of going to be pixel, 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 and organized in a completely different way because they're still ratifying the standard of how it's even going to be transmitted over those 4 cables and where the pixels are actually going to be. If you think you're going to be able to do a high-end production or any sort of significant production in 4K, you're a little early. They still haven't completely figured out how in production they're actually even going to organize the look of the picture. So I think it's going to actually be successful in the future. I'm actually a backer in 4K. I can't wait to buy my own 4K TV and see rich productions, but we're a little ahead of the curve for NAB 2013.